My guest today is once again Xavier Boffa, who's the Executive Director of the Samuel Griffiths Society. Welcome, Xavier.
Thank you, Professor Flint. As always, it's a pleasure to be on the show.
Thank you. And on this day, the day we're recording, which is the 133rd anniversary of the SS Lucinda on the Hawkesbury, which belonged to the Queensland government, with Sir Samuel Griffiths on it, guiding a working party, a committee drafting our great Australian Constitution. It's an appropriate day to be doing this recording. What is the Samuel Griffiths Society?
Well, thank you, Professor Flint. And as you mentioned, Sir Samuel Griffiths was a very important figure in the history of Australia, particularly the history of the movement towards federation. And the Samuel Griffiths Society exists to recognise the legacy of Sir Samuel Griffiths as the primary author of the Constitution and to promote greater awareness and understanding of the Constitution and the benefits that have come to Australians as a result of the system of government that the Constitution established.
And you will be doing your high point of the year, as it were, in your annual conference very soon. Could you tell us about that?
Yes, that's right. We will be holding our annual conference in just about 2 months on the weekend of the 24th to the 26th of May. And this year we will be returning to Queensland, which was Sir Samuel Griffiths' home and the place where Sir Samuel was both Attorney General and Premier, and then also later Chief Justice for this year's conference. And it's going to be, I think, the best conference yet for the Society. It's the 34th conference of the Society. And this year, there will be a particular focus on 3 main areas. The first of those areas is one which is very timely given some current developments before the Commonwealth Parliament, but it's also an area about which our founding president, Sir Harry Gibbs, was very passionate, and that is the question of whether Australia should have a national or a Commonwealth Bill of Rights. And as I say, this is a very timely topic of discussion at the moment because there is a current inquiry before the Human Rights Committee of the Commonwealth Parliament, which is reviewing Australia's national human rights framework and considering a proposal that there should be a Commonwealth Charter of Human Rights. And so this will be one of the 3 key themes of this year's conference, whether or not Australia should have a Bill of Rights or a Charter of Rights. And I'm very pleased that we have a number of speakers talking about this topic who are quite learned in the fields. Associate Professor Ben Saunders from Deakin University has a submission with Professor Nicholas Aroney from the University of Queensland into that inquiry that I just mentioned. And he will be one of our speakers. And Associate Professor Mark Fowler is a very experienced expert in the area of human rights law. And he will be another one of our speakers as part of that first session about human rights and a national Bill of Rights. So that's one of the first areas. The second area for this year's conference is a topic which is always very relevant to the work of the Society, and that is the role of the different branches of government, particularly with a focus on the role of the judiciary and the role of the Crown. And I know that the Crown and its place in our constitutional monarchy is an area in which you take particularly great interest, Professor Flint. And I'm delighted this year that we'll have a number of papers exploring the role of those 2 arms of government. We have several distinguished judges, including Justice Bradley of the Queensland Supreme Court and Justice Kelly of the Queensland Supreme Court, who will be speaking about the role of the judiciary and the common law. And I'm also particularly pleased that this year we will have the second Sir David Smith Memorial Oration, which will be given this year by Professor the Honourable George Brandis, KC, and who will be able to share some reflections about his time as a representative of Australia in the United Kingdom, and also some reflections on the life and legacy of Sir David Smith, who was a great friend to many in the society, a long-time member, and our second president. So that is the second broad theme of the conference. And the final theme of the conference, or major theme of the conference, is the rule of law. And it's an issue which is particularly significant and important at the moment, given that it is a principle that's under increasing contestation in the public discourse. What the rule of law means, and whether it should continue to be a guiding principle for our legal system. I personally think that it should, but this is something that's come under increasing critique and question in recent years, and there have been a number of significant high-profile events that have put pressure on our traditional conception of the rule of law. And so I'm delighted that headlining that particular theme of the conference this year, we have Dr. Janet Albrighton, who has done a remarkable amount of work writing for The Australian in publicising and exploring some of these events, which I've just alluded to, and who will be giving a speech about the rule of law at our Friday dinner to open the conference. So that's a little bit of a general flavour of the three major themes of the conference this year.
Well, they are certainly important themes, and obviously from that there will be publications flowing. You have your annual book, which is a great source of information, and no doubt will the conference be recorded?
Yes, as is our practice, or has been our practice in recent years. The papers from the conference will be compiled and edited and published in a book, which is also going to be made available online and in the Australian Legal Library. And also the speeches will be recorded and published online as well for people to enjoy should they be unable to make the conference. But that all being said, one of the best aspects of the conference, and you would know this as a regular attendee of the conference, Professor Flint, is the Q&A discussion that follows the presentation of the papers. And that is something that if you want to witness or indeed to participate in that Q&A discussion, you need to attend the conference because that's not recorded and not published. So I would encourage anyone who's interested in those three themes, the rule of law, whether we should have a Charter of Rights, and the role of the different branches of government to attend the conference.
Well, this is very important work. The basis of our society is our constitution, and the society, I have to admit I'm on the board of the society, but I think the society has to be commended for maintaining that belief in the principles which are at the very basis of the constitution and the defence of those. And of course you continue throughout the year with other functions and proceedings and putting in papers to various government committees. So the society works very well in that regard, and you have that basis. You have the office in Melbourne which centres those activities, and I think the whole thing is commendable, and may you continue in doing that. Thank you very much for your time today.
Oh, well, thank you, Professor Flint. And I thought I might just share for your viewers a special announcement that concerns the speaker for this year's conference, which I've yet to announce. I will be announcing shortly. But for your viewers, they can have a bit of a sneak peek. I'm very delighted to announce that in addition to the speakers I mentioned before and others that have been announced, this year we will have Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa Price will be speaking on Saturday morning at the conference. And I think that there's been a lot of attention given to Senator Price and her work over the last 12 months in relation to the voice referendum. but I'm sure that many people are interested to hear what's next for her, and we look forward to having her join us at the conference. And if anyone would like to find out more about the conference and how to attend, they can visit our website, samuelgriffith.org, to find out more, and we hope to see them there.
Very good, and we will later know when she's speaking what the subject of her address is. I'm talking about Senator Price.
Yes, well, for that, people will need to go to our website and sign up to our mailing list for the full announcements regarding Senator Price's participation in this year's conference, and for the full conference program and all those other details. They can, as I say, visit our website, samuelgriffith.org, sign up to our mailing list to get all of that information.
Well, there's no doubt that people were very impressed by the Senator, and she made a major contribution in the discussions concerning that matter. And I think the comments which were made about her meant that she was very well received generally in Australia, and that was an excellent thing. So congratulations on that. You've obviously got a very interesting conference coming up, and we would encourage people to go there if they can get to Queensland, or if they're already there in Queensland. Thank you very much for your time, Xavier.
Pleasure, Professor Flint, and thank you.
I'll see you soon.